You know that article in the Times about Jean-Michel. I think actually I sold the first paintings he sold.
Who were they sold to?
I sold a really big canvas to Chris Stein for $100. I remember that. I don't know if he sold anything before that or not. He was selling. He was making sweatshirts before that. Did you ever see any of the sweatshirts?
They were sort of like abstract expressionism.
Yeah.
He was also selling postcards in front of Museum of Modern Art.
Yeah. Actually, the first piece of his that I have a Xerox of his. It's really, really early. Has a poem on it about Popeye and Rolaids. I think Rameau is pretty important, more important than he's been recognized. I mean, maybe as an inspiration to other artists.
Mm-hmm.
But I think people still are prejudiced against people that are so-called graffiti artists.
Well, Edit's been pushing Rameau.
Yeah, yeah. Edit is another one. I think, it's one of the main people. She was around the Mug Club too. I mean, I think what's going on now is mainly pop art. Even though everybody says it's neo-expressionism, to me, what's been going on, since then has been mainly pop, except more painterly. But pop kind of got absorbed, I mean, there was always this conflict within pop about, Andy Warhol, like in the I guess the Flower book, there were these quotes where he's saying, well, anybody could do my paintings.
Mm-hmm.
And, but kind of the idea of pop was to, take art outside of the very limited audience that it had at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it did that, but then there was also a reaction to it because nobody wanted it to be devalued, So it's this kind of fine line of, you can't fake my paintings, but you could, period, Like Jack Smith was like really, really influential and important, but today, who's heard of Jack Smith?
Well, he sort of got burnt out there, didn't he?
Yeah, but he was like so influential in like Andy, especially in making those early movies and stuff.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he invented the word superstar.
Are you still in touch with him?
No.
Because he's kind of
I think he's around.
He's kind of a basket case.
Yeah, but I think he was a basket case when he was doing all that great work too. I mean.
Yeah, he was a real big influence on Steve Nass too.
Yeah.
Did you go to any of Jack Smith's little performances at his house?
Yeah.
Describe one of those.
Well, it was amazing. It was like a no play with garbage. He collected like all the most amazing things like off the streets and out of garbage, and his whole loft was filled with it. I remember when he got evicted from the place that he was living. It must have been around 71 or 72, and like I think Andy gave him some money at that time. Because Andy hadn't been in touch with him. I told him he was broke, and I think maybe Andy gave him some money, but I just thought that the whole loft should have been bought by the Museum of Modern Art and just, like installed.
Mm-hmm.
I guess John Waters must have been kind of influential too on the whole mentality around the the middle 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And Patti Smith was definitely, she's sort of forgotten as a big influence. I think she really. I introduced Jean-Michel to Andy. Like Jean-Michel was always, fascinated by Andy. And,
this was after he sold a postcard to him though at the restaurant though, right? 1/5? No, not 1/5. WPA.
I don't know about that. I don't know. He was always asking me to take him up there. And, then I started taking him up there, and Andy didn't know whether to be, interested in him or afraid of him. Andy bought some of his sweatshirts.
You were there when that happened, that incident with the sweatshirts.
Yeah.
You brought him up there that day and brought him into Andy's office.
Yeah.
So this is Jean-Michel.
Yeah.
Did Andy say, I met you at the WPA?
I don't remember that. No. I think Andy kept asking me who he was. Because Jean-Michel then kept trying to come up there and wanted to hang out.
Right.
But then I think Andy knew we were doing the movie with him. I guess that was a little bit later. But I kept telling him it was all right, because a lot of people would always go up there and want something. So, I mean, you can't. I mean, Andy had legitimate reason to be, suspicious.
Right.
And Jean-Michel was pretty intense then too.
In what way?
Well, he was like, he was.
Almost like a street person.
Oh yeah, and not. I don't know if he was pushy, but he was demanding, and he would really speak his mind, and he could put people off. But actually, he was very charming.
Now they're like best friends, right?
Yeah. I don't know if we had a falling out over anything in particular.
Did you used to wear a black leather jacket with a crown on the back?
Yeah, I still have it.
Was that his crown?
Yeah.
So he drew. That was the first art leather jacket.
To tell you the truth, I really think it was the first tag jacket. Yeah.
Well, the graffiti kids had gang jackets, right?
I don't know.
First
I
tag
had
jacket,
I had the first motorcycle jacket I ever saw with a tag on it. To tell you the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they were around and I just didn't notice it.
No. You still have it?
Yeah.
Where, can I see it?
Yeah.